All right, everybody, welcome out to another episode of Windshield Time at Mountainland Supply. I'm Joey. I am riding sort of solo today because Brandon is not feeling well, so we're going to excuse him while he convalesces. But I am joined by our editor extraordinaire, Spencer Shorts, and we took away his microphone because he was getting out of hand. So that's him with the sound effects. He may chime in here and there on the sound effects. And we are also joined today by Michael Marcus. What did I used to call you?
Aurelius.
Oh yeah, Aurelius,
A.K.A. Maximus.
Maximus the Spaniard. Yes, Mike, otherwise known as Michael Mark or Mike Mark or Mike Marks That Go, or any combination of any of those, right?
Yep. Eminem.
Eminem. Oh, I like that one. We were just discussing facial hair because Mike is growing in his beard for the hunting season. And I was telling him that I never saw you without a goatee.
Nope.
And it's been 25 years since you didn't have a goatee? At least years. A goatee.
Yeah, 25 years.
Yeah, but you could probably grow one when you were like 4 years old, too.
I could grow a beard in high school.
Because you are not a not hairy person.
No. I'm... Yeah. Yeah. But I have to grow something because I have such a fat, round face.
Pumpkin face.
Yeah, pumpkin face, small dome.
Yeah, he's not very big from ear to top.
So I don't look good in hats.
You look good in everything, dude. You just don't give yourself enough credit.
I don't know. I try to be eye candy, but...
Yeah, you are the eye candy. Yeah. You are the face of the franchise.
Yeah.
So, Mike, for those of you who don't know, you've probably seen Mike at your branches in the last few years because Mike has been with the marketing team, and he's been doing a lot of the customer appreciation events and golf tournaments and everything. You've been everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's been fun.
Yeah.
Been a lot of fun.
Yeah. You've done a good job with that.
Yeah, we do a lot of events.
Yeah. Mike is currently transitioning roles at Mountainland, and you are going to be the corporate counter manager, right?
Yep.
Did I get that right?
Well, it's supervisor, manager, or specialist, so whatever. That's what.
Yeah, you're special. You're extra
special. We'll decide tomorrow what the name is.
So yeah, you're not managing any other people, so maybe you're not a manager yet.
Yep.
That will come down the road when you need more help, right?
Yes.
So that would entail like setting up vendor trainings, setting up counter trainings, franchising the look of the counters, so that really this kind of came because of ideas that you had that you presented to us to make our counters look more uniform. And like when you walk into a chain store, in Utah we use Maverick stores because they're an easy target, and they're everywhere in Utah and in Idaho as well, but those in the Midwest won't understand it. But as you walk into one of those chains, everything feels familiar. And so you know where to go. Well, my blades are going to be over here because they're next to the hole saws, and the Milwaukee wall over here is going to have this next to it, and that sort of thing, right? And my consumables will always be up front, my oil, my chain oil, my all that stuff, right?
Yep.
Gloves.
Make it look nice and neat. So
this was your idea. So why did you have that idea?
When I was traveling around to these different branches, I could just see the need for, I mean, we were growing so fast. I mean, we had so much people moving up because they
breakneck speed.
Yeah. And I just seen these younger guys coming up. I was thinking, okay, that we could use some training.
Yeah.
Because these young guys, they moved it up so fast, they couldn't,
Well, and that's the hardest thing. I say this often, there is no harder transition than moving from a warehousing or driving position and into a counter sales position. Like that learning curve is steeper than any other that I've been through.
Oh, yeah.
Like that's tough.
Yep.
And to do it with no training, that's a lot to ask of a person.
Yep.
Yep.
And I don't think they realize how important counter guys are.
Yeah.
Because they're the first person, when our customers
they literally are the face of the franchise.
Yep.
We joke that you are, but they really are.
Yeah, when people come in, that's the first person they see in the sales department is our counter.
Yeah.
And it's been on how they interact with our customers is what kind of, how our customers react with us.
We always talk about touches with the customer, right? And sometimes that counter salesperson is the first, and often they could be the last touch. And if we don't do it right, they might be that last touch.
Yeah.
And that's high stakes. So we do need to invest in training and helping them understand approaches and questions to ask customers and questions not to ask customers.
Yep.
And the other thing that you bring to this that I think is unique is that you've been a plumber in the field.
Uh-huh.
And so you understand that side of it too, walking into a supply house, not necessarily even just what you want in terms of product, but how you want to be treated.
Yeah, how you feel comfortable. You walk into a counter and you feel comfortable, you're going to pass other counters to go to that counter that treats you right.
Yeah.
That knows you. I mean, I think knowing people by their first name basis is a big deal.
Big time.
Every sales training I've done, you have to learn their name, say their name.
Yeah.
That's what I want them to do when they come in the door. Say, hey, so-and-so, come on in and be with you in just 1 second. Just a little bit of acknowledgement on the counter, I think is going to go a long way.
Even if you can't get to them right away.
Nope.
Hey,
it'll
grab a drink. I'll be right with you.
Yeah.
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 Acknowledgement means a lot.
Mm-hmm.
How long were you a plumber for in the field?
4 years.
And did you ever make journeyman, or were you an apprentice the whole time?
I went to school.
Okay.
I finished my 3rd year, but then I fell and broke my neck, so I couldn't go back to plumbing.
If you guys ever have a chance to talk to Mike, you got to get some of this guy's stories, because you've been a bouncer before.
That's a whole nother podcast.
That might have to be Mountainland After Dark. Some of it. But he knows exactly which beer bottles will break and which ones won't.
And what sound they make.
When they're bouncing off your head.
Yeah.
And maybe that's probably why you were uniquely qualified for that, just because of the shape of your head.
Because I had a small dome.
Because you had a small dome. Yeah, they'd miss you. Because you were just so fast.
No, I never got hit. I just seen people that got hit.
Yeah.
I was there after the fact.
Yeah.
So I got to hear the noise. Oh, yeah. So I got to hear the noise.
Yeah. So Mike has some of the very best stories. And when you get to see him, you guys have got to get some of the stories out of him, because they are awesome. Some of my favorites. I mean, I retell them often, as you know.
No, you threw me under the bus pretty bad at one time. Kind of derailed my career for a little bit, I think.
Whatever, dude. So I did at one point. I tried to make Mike feel comfortable by. You can see him getting angry. I tried to make him feel comfortable by agreeing with things that he said, and he had exposed some very, very personal things to me.
Very personal things. And Joey agreed. He goes, yes, that happens to everybody.
Everybody does that.
Yeah.
And so he thought that we had this moment of bonding.
I thought we did not have the moment. You're going there. You thought.
Okay, we had this moment where we bonded. We did. We were in a truck in St. George for probably 14 hours one day, driving around trying to sell commercial water heaters.
Yes.
And Mike told me some very personal things, and we had a moment where we bonded over those personal things, and then he feels
betrayed. Because obviously we weren't bonding. You were lying the whole time, as it comes out now.
I've never laughed as hard in my life as when you first of all when you told me the story, and then when I saw your face when you felt betrayed. It was so sad.
Because they're looking at me like, why are you telling us this? Why are you telling us this? I look at Joey and Joey's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, what? What?
Oh my gosh, that was fun. That was a good day.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah.
It was a fantastic day for me. Oh, anyway, you guys got to talk to Mike and get that story out of him. So you plumbed for 4 years, and then you went into, you broke your neck. And how'd you break your neck?
Playing softball.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, okay. I remember that story now.
Sliding into second base head first.
And you didn't realize you broke it at the time.
No, I was safe.
Yeah.
I was safe. I made sure the people at the hospital, I was safe.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure you did. And so then you realized you broke your neck, and that's not conducive to being a journeyman plumber by any stretch of the imagination. No. So what did you do after that?
I was working for another plumbing outfit called me, or a supply house.
Yeah, a wholesaler.
Yeah, wholesaler said, come and run our counter.
Yeah.
And we'll pay you to run our counter. And I said, okay, that's good.
So you're kind of getting back to your roots, just on a larger scale.
I think a counter is a really important part
of a wholesale
business.
I totally agree.
I do. I think a customer service, like when I go, even through a drive-through, I notice customer service.
Yeah.
You notice these kids that they don't even say thank you or, have a good day.
Yeah.
Then I go to this other place and they say, hey, how's your day going? Have a good day. It makes a big difference.
It
customer
does.
service.
Anywhere
you go.
It makes you identify with the culture of a company based upon that interaction.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you go to Chick-fil-A, everybody uses Chick-fil-A as a good example, right? Where they say, what do they even say? My pleasure, right?
Yeah.
My pleasure at the end of it. You know what's funny is that I don't know if every Arby's does this, but there's an Arby's in Payson, Utah, that does that same thing. They do into my pleasure. I'm like, that's plagiarism. Like, get your own thing. Like thank you, or thank you is just good enough. But they say my pleasure at Chick-fil-A, and that's part of their culture is they train that. Like you will say that, and I think even as you just do it, it becomes a part of who you are.
And people notice it. People notice a difference.
And they appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
And they will come back.
Yep. And their wait on the counter will be so much faster if they just get acknowledged and say, hey, so-and-so, I'll be with you in just 1 minute. We'll get somebody here.
Yep.
Hold out.
Then they're not looking at their watch constantly because they've been acknowledged. There's nothing worse than going to a place and having to wait there with no acknowledgement. Mm-hmm. So we're moving right now. My wife and our kids were moving houses, and I went to a place because they rented out totes, like storage totes, and my wife had called ahead. They knew that I was going to be there. They're like, okay, you be here between 9 and 9:30 this day. So I showed up, and there was nobody to be found, and there's no bell to ring. There's nothing, right? So I'm trying everything to make myself conspicuous, opening and shutting the door again, clearing my throat, banging into things on purpose just to try and get acknowledged. Nothing was working. Lo and behold, 10 minutes later, this gal comes walking out of the back like, oh, surprised to see somebody waiting at their counter. That's crappy service.
Yes, crappy service.
And that's who we can't be. Nope. We need to set ourselves apart as the place that actually wants the business. We as an
appreciate
ESOP,
their business.
Yeah, we as an ESOP, we need it.
Mm-hmm.
We have to feed the engine. So I think in this industry we can easily distinguish ourselves as the counter that cares.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And I think you've recognized that too, and that's why you had this idea.
Yeah. I think it's a big deal. I think people will drive past other counters to come to because they feel more comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have good counters. We have really good guys, really good counters, but everything needs improvement.
Yeah, we can all improve.
Yep.
Yeah.
And some are better than others, but
yeah, it
just takes a little training, and I think people will be on board, and it'll go good.
One thing that we are at this company is we are a company that wants to grow, and that doesn't necessarily always mean your footprint or territory or anything like that. We as people need to grow because there's only two options. You're either growing or you're dying.
Yep.
Right? Mm-hmm. And as a company, that's true too. As an individual, it's true. As a company, it's true. We either grow as people or we regress.
Yep.
There's either growth or decay in life. And I think if we invest in ourselves as people and we want to grow, this is a perfect way to do it. I want to grow in my influence. Mm-hmm. I want to grow in the way that people feel about me. Mm-hmm. I want to grow in my knowledge. And that's another thing that you're going to be helping them with is their knowledge base.
Yes.
Right?
Yep. We're going to work a lot close with the vendors. The vendors are on board 100%. They love to get encounters and training.
Yeah.
Mountainland, they say, is the best place to get in front of the end user.
Yeah.
For the vendors.
Yeah.
They say we put them in front of the end user more than anybody else.
Yeah.
And I think that's
so we're already out in front.
Yep.
It's just time to step it up again and put ourselves even further in front.
And get our counter guys to not to know everything about the product, but to know the right questions to ask.
Yeah.
And they say, if I don't know it, I'll find out. I'll get back with you. I'll have the salesman call you. It's a lot about communication too, I think.
And that's how you make yourself invaluable. Mm-hmm. You set yourself apart. A customer will always remember somebody who cared.
Yep.
Somebody who took the time for them, somebody who actually invested in the relationship. They'll always remember that.
Yep. And, guys will come in where they feel comfortable. They'll go right to the counter guy they like the most or they feel the most comfortable with.
Yeah.
And that's what we want. We want guys to come in and...
You want people who stand in line waiting for you.
Yep.
Like, nah, it's okay. I'll wait for Mike.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you actually had that back in the day, right?
I kind of thought it was like being a bartender, to come in, just joke, take an order, go pull it, come back, go the next day. It was fun. I had fun on the counter.
I did too.
But that's back when you could have fun without getting in
A lot of trouble.
Yeah, without HR problems.
We used to have competitions, though. I mean, we'd have competitions, who could write the most dollars in a day or the most orders in a day. We'd run. Yeah. Man, we would run.
Yeah, and I
so much fun.
I want to get that together again about doing incentive programs for the counter guys. Yeah. So they want to pick up that phone. They want to pick up take as many orders as they can.
Yeah.
Do little incentive, like having little contests, like you say.
That's what makes it fun,
Yeah.
That can be such a fun. I loved working on the counter.
Yep.
You're in front of the people all day. You get to know some awesome people.
Yeah.
That you wouldn't get to know them any other way.
And you learn a lot about the product just from the customers coming in.
Oh, because they want to help.
Yep.
They want to invest in you.
Yep.
Because then, and if you let them invest in you, you've locked them in forever.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because now you're their guy. Yeah, yep. It's a fun and worthwhile endeavor, and I'm glad that you have put so much focus on it.
Yeah, it'll be good.
It's gonna be awesome.
I'm excited.
Okay, so real quick, we do this with everybody. But if you could tell somebody who's just started at Mountainland a couple things that they could do in order to be successful in life and at the company, what would you tell
them? Relationships. Always, have good relationships with those around your customers and the people you work with.
Mm-hmm.
And the more you know, the more you're worth.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the more knowledge you have, the more worth you have to a company.
That's awesome. I love that.
That's what I think.
I love it, dude. I love it. So, again, those of you who are about to see Mike, make sure you get some stories out of him, but make sure you get some knowledge out of him too, because Mike has been doing this for a while, and he's an awesome resource and a heck of a human. He's one of my very favorites.
I'm getting up there in age.
Yeah, you know what? You just get better with age, though. You're like a fine wine.
I was wondering, go ahead, caller, you're on the air. I was wanting to say that. Now they have this microphone. I'm like,
you have a face and voice for radio.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right, everybody. Thanks for jumping in with us, and we'll see you down the road. Love you guys.